Hit it, Phil.
Da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Can it be the breeze that fills the trees with rare and magic perfume? Oh, no, it isn't the breeze. It's Jackson time. La-da-da-da.
Stay tuned.
Right after this episode.
For our discussion.
Star Trek will not be presented tonight, so that we may bring you the following special program. The following program is brought to you in living color on NBC.
The Jack Benny Hour. With his guest star, Phyllis Diller. Trini Lopez. Special guest stars, the Smothers Brothers. Featuring the 10 most beautiful girls in the world. And starring the most beautiful man in the world, Jack Benny.
Thank you very, very much, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the show. Now, you know, this is the first television show I've done in over a year, see? And I'll tell you how I happened to do it. I had a call not too long ago from General Sarnoff, who is the head of the whole NBC network, you see. You've heard of General Sarnoff. And he called me long distance, and quite a while ago, and he said, Jack, called me Jack. You know, I don't even know him too well. And he said, Jack, I wish you would do an hour special television show for me, and how much money do you want? Well, actually, I didn't want to do another television show because I was enjoying my personal appearances. I didn't want any more of television, but I didn't want to hurt his feelings. So, in order to get out of it, you see, in order to get out of it, I told him I would do this hour show, but I wanted $75,000, thinking, of course, that he would turn it down, you see. And he did. And then he made me a counteroffer on the phone that was so humiliating and embarrassing that I got real angry. And right on the phone, I said to him, look, General, I says, you called me, I didn't call you. I don't need that hour special. I don't need it at all. Now, if you want me to do it, my salary is $75,000. Take it or leave it. And I hung right up in his ear. I was so mad, you know. Then about a week later, when I didn't hear from him, then I called him. And I told him he was sorry for what he said. And then we made a beautiful deal. Now, I'm not getting the salary that I asked for. See, not near it. But to make up for it, he lets me return all the empties from the Dean Martin rehearsals. I wouldn't lose that joke for the world. But anyway, I'm making a fortune out of those empties. But this has been really over a year since I've been on television. And here I am, back again. Of course, my being back again may mean nothing to you. But the Mutual Life Insurance Company is thrilled. Of course, I'm not going to tell you how much life insurance I carry, see? But when I go, they go. That gives you a rough idea, I think. Now, getting back to this show, I must say I'm very excited because in addition to having Phyllis Diller, Trini Lopez, and the Smothers Brothers, we're doing something we've never done before. You're all familiar, of course, with beauty pageants. See, I've always wanted to have my own pageant where the girls were picked by experienced people in show business. So we've been selecting beauties from all over the world. And you've had a glimpse of our 10 finalists. We were supposed to have 11, but Georgie Jessel was a member of the committee, and he married one of them. Of course, she might be back before the show is over. This could happen, you know. But all in all, I think we did get the 10 most beautiful girls. Excuse me, Mary. Now, later on in the program, as I said, we will be...
Mr. Benny.
I'm talking to people.
Well, this will just take a second. We'd like to get a picture of you with the beauties.
Oh, with me with the beauties? Oh, all right.
This way.
Fine, thank you. Oh, you mean these beauties?
Yes, these beauties.
You're the photographer?
Well, what do you think I'm doing under here? Growing mushrooms? Well, don't stand there trying to think of an answer. Just get over in front of one of those now cars.
You mean new cars?
No, he's right, Mr. Benny. They're not just new cars. They're the now cars. They're styled for now. They have engines for now.
Oh, I see, I see.
Suppose we take the picture in front of this luxurious full-size Ambassador.
Oh, you mean this one right here?
Get your filthy hands off that car.
I'm sorry.
Well, now there's an ad-lib if I ever heard one.
Oh!
I don't know. It's hard to decide which car to photograph you with, Mr. Benny. All of the now cars from the 1967 American Motors are so roomy and beautiful, and they're more powerful than any cars American Motors has ever made.
Are they really that good?
Oh, are they?
Now cut that out! Maybe I should stand in front of this one here, huh?
Well, that's Rambler American, now available with V8 power.
Yeah, I thought you'd like this one. It's the lowest list price car made in America.
Oh, you mean this is an inexpensive car?
You know, maybe we should take your picture in front of the Rebel. After all, Rebel is a whole new line of excitement machines.
Yeah, well, right, they're all such wonderful cars. I don't know where to...
Well, you're right. You're just going to have to stand in the middle, Mr. Benny.
Oh, I
So
see.
we can get your picture with all of the now cars from the 1967 American Motors. Now, just give us a big smile.
All right.
Think of this. All American Motors cars have quality built in. Quality built in so the value stays in. That's it. Shoot it, Charlie. Thank you, Mr. Benny. Now you can get back to your show.
You're welcome.
Would you like a copy for your mantelpiece?
Oh, would I?
Anyway, as I said, we will be judging our beauties from all over the world later in the show. But right now, I want to present to you the singer that these same girls voted their international favorite, Mr. Trini Lopez.
Oh, here we go, fly me to the moon and let me play among the stars. Let me see what spring is like on Jupiter and Mars. In other words, hold my hand. In other words, oh, darling, kiss me. Fill my heart with song and let me sing forevermore. You are all I long for, all I worship and adore. In other words, please be true. In other words, I love you. Let me hear you now. In other words, hold my hand. In other words, oh baby, kiss me. One more time. In other words, please be true. In other words, hey, in other words, in other words, I love
Trini, you know, I've heard you many, many times, and naturally, I know you're a good singer. I know you can sing.
Thank you.
But I must say you also play the guitar beautifully. Do you always use it when you sing?
Yes, I do, Mr. Benny. You see, it's nice not to have to depend on anyone else, you know. And by playing the guitar myself, I can provide my own accompaniment.
Oh. You mean when you sing, you always provide your own accompaniment? huh?
Always.
And they call me cheap. Trini, let me see that guitar a minute.
Fine.
You know, everybody plays it. I'd love to play one. I've always wanted to play one.
Well, it's
They do.
not too easy, you know.
I know. Where put it here, huh?
There we go.
Gee, it's not even easy to hold. Fly me to the moon, and I'll own all the land by June. Trini, how long would it take me to learn to play the guitar as well as I play the violin?
Well, about 20 minutes.
That long, eh?
Well, with a good teacher, maybe.
Oh, quiet. Let me tell you something, Trini. I started to play the violin when I was 7 years old. And if I had kept practicing like I should, do you know what I could have been today?
Treasurer of the Musicians Union?
You know, that's not what I meant, but it isn't a bad idea. Now, take this back and
Okay.
get ready for your encore.
Thank you very much.
You know, it's quite a coincidence having him on the show, because when I was born, my parents thought of calling me Trini. Can you imagine? Trini Kabelski. Well, anyway, right now...
Jack! Jack!
What is it, Phyllis?
Jack, I cannot stand being with those contestants another minute.
Phyllis, you volunteered to be their chaperone.
I can't help it. Those contestants are making me ill. All that dieting, the exercises. Oh, the makeup. Ooh. You know those girls comb their hair every morning?
No!
I didn't know what a bobby pin was till I was 26 years old. And that was only because I got locked out of the house. All those girls think about is the way they look.
Well, Phyllis, it's not their fault that they happen to be blessed with a little beauty, you know.
The little beauty. Ho, they don't even wear false eyelashes.
Well, it's too late to change chaperones. You'll have to make the best of it.
Well, all right, but it's just awful. And those girls are just swamped with fellas knocking on their door, calling them all hours of the day and night. And besides, they aren't even allowed to accept dates.
The girls are not allowed to accept it? Who made that rule?
I did.
Oh, yes, I remember. We did have a deal where you get the overflow.
Yeah, I feel like a motel next to the Hilton.
It was good. It's the first time I heard it.
Well, I went out with a fella the other night. Oh, dear. He wanted to know what place I represented. So I said, guess, honey. He said, Death Valley. I have never been so insulted in my life.
Oh, you must have been. At rehearsal, instead of Death Valley, she said the farmer's market. She says anything. Listen, I wish you'd go back and get the girls ready for their entrance in their bathing suits.
All right, but there's another thing I want to talk to you about, Jack. I've been watching the rehearsals, and I don't like the way you've got them coming out and parading around.
Well, I thought it was all right.
Oh, Bert Parks would never do it that way.
Look, Bert Parks isn't running this contest. I am. So we'll do it my way.
But, Jack, they're not putting enough into it. When the girls come out and parade around, they should walk like this.
Phyllis!
I'm not through yet. Drunken drummer.
That was some walk of yours, believe me.
Well, it's a lot sexier in a bathing suit.
It would be sexier in a mink coat with the mink still wearing it. Now, look at Phyllis. We're going to do it the way we rehearsed it.
Very well, but you are turning down the walk that made me Miss Hubbard Squash of 1953.
You know, she's crazy, but she's really wonderful. And did you ever see hair like that? Did you ever see a head of hair like that? To me, she looks like she was pardoned 30 seconds after they pulled the switch. And now, once again, ladies and gentlemen, Trini Lopez.
This train don't carry no gamblers, this train. This train don't carry no gamblers, this train. This train don't carry no gamblers, no crap shooters, no midnight ramblers. This train don't carry no gamblers, this train. This train don't carry no jokers, this train. This train don't carry no jokers, this train. This train don't carry no jokers, don't women, no cigar smokers. This train don't carry no jokers, this train. This train don't carry my mother, this train. Well, this train don't carry my mother, this train. Well, this train don't carry my mother, my father, my sister, and my brother. This train don't carry my mother, this train. Well, this train, she's bound for glory, this train. Hey, this train, she's bound for glory, this train. Well, this train, she's bound for glory. If you want to go to heaven, well, you gotta be holy. This train, she's bound for glory, this train. Well, this train, she's bound for glory, this train. Ooh, this train, she's bound for glory, this train. Yeah, this train, she's bound for glory. If you want to go to heaven, well, you gotta be holy. This train, she's bound for glory, this train. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, this train. Oh, we gotta move on. If you wanna see glory, you gotta be holy, baby. Talk about this train. This train. Ooh, train. Talk about this train. Yeah, this train.
You know, ladies and gentlemen, it's unusual to find a team that's adept at both comedy and music. And it's even more unusual when that team turns out to be brothers. And believe me, for what I'm paying them, they should be Siamese twins. But anyway, here they are, the Smothers Brothers. Well, boys, I want to say it's a real pleasure to have you on the show.
Well, it's a pleasure being had. What Tommy means, it's a pleasure for us to be on your show.
Oh.
Yes, and I can't tell you what an honor it is to be working with one of my favorite personalities, a man whose artistry is unsurpassed, Tommy. a giant in this industry who brings joy and happiness to where he goes. Tommy. For a man off stage and on stage, living like a giant pillar of excitement and Tommy, pride. now, Tommy, you don't overdo it like You're that. always putting me down. All I try to do is give a man
Don't get mad at me. I'm
a
just
compliment.
trying to... I don't care what you're trying to...
Wait a minute. Look, Tommy, see, what Dick means is you don't have to be so flowery.
Yeah.
You know, about me anyway. You can say what you want without going overboard.
Okay. It's nice to be on your dumb show.
Dick, why don't you mind your own business?
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
But you know, I can't get over it. You two are such opposite types. Are you really brothers?
I am. I don't know about it.
I have the strangest feeling I'm talking to Dennis Day.
Well, Mr. Benny, it's true, really. We're brothers.
You are.
And my mom always liked my brother best.
Now, you stop that.
Well, she did. She liked you
not.
best,
Now,
and she
don't
never
get mad.
liked me.
She did
My
not.
mom liked my brother
That is
best
a
and
lie.
never
You
liked me.
shouldn't say things
You
like
got
that.
a bass, and all I got was a little guitar. That does not deny that Mom didn't like you best.
You wanted a guitar.
Wait a minute. Excuse me. I didn't mean to serve it. Now, Tommy, look, you're always saying your mother liked Dick. You're always saying that your mother liked Dick best.
Because it's true. That's
not
why I say
true.
it. It is true.
Why?
Mom liked you best.
Well, wait a minute. How about your father? Did he like Dick best?
Well, no, he didn't like Dick too much.
Well, there you see, it evens it up.
No, it doesn't. He hated me.
Oh, he did not.
He did so.
He did not. You act like a fool. You
Look,
don't care.
fellas, boys, if I...
Serving it again.
If I want family arguments, I can watch Peyton plays.
Oh.
Now, how about doing your number?
All right, Mr. Benny.
Okay.
We like to do a song from a Broadway show. The
Hey,
show
Dick,
was
do you
written
know,
by Lerner
Dick,
and
wait a
Lowe.
second.
It
Do you know
is-
Do you know what the fastest animal in the world is? Thought I'd ask you that. You probably weren't expecting it, were you?
No, I wasn't. Well, I do know what the fastest animal in the world is.
Tell
This
me,
song
tell
is
me
from-
about the fastest animal
No,
in
Tom,
the
I don't
world.
want to talk about it now. I mean, after.
Tell me what the...
All right, it's a cheetah. I went to the zoo the other day, and I saw a cheetah, right? Cheetahs are in all the zoos, and it has a plaque. It says where the cheetah's from and how fast it is. You know how fast it runs? 70 miles an hour. And it said the fastest animal in the world is a cheetah.
Wow.
You didn't think I knew, did you?
That's pretty fast,
It is
70
fast.
miles an hour.
Now, this song...
Animal running 75...
It's
70,
unheard of.
70 miles an hour, that's pretty fast.
It's unheard of.
But it's not the fastest animal in the world.
It is, too.
There's a faster animal.
What is faster than a cheetah?
It's a sconce hound. Guess I told you. They run 75 miles an hour.
75 miles an hour?
Sconce hound runs 75 miles
You
an
tell me
hour.
a dog can run...
Not all
That's-
the time. Just occasionally does it run 70.
Oh, just once in a while.
Only when a 70-mile-an-hour cheetah is chasing.
This song is from the Lerner and Lowe show, Paint Your Wagon, and is entitled I Talk to the Trees. I talk to the trees, and they never listen to me. I talk to the stars, but they never hear me. The breeze hasn't time to stop and hear what I say. I talk to them all in vain.
Stupid song.
What did you say?
Stupid song.
Dumb. Pick a real nice time to tell me about it.
I wanted to surprise you.
First of all, it's not stupid. Paint Your Wagon is a hit show. And this song...
Stupid show and a stupid song. Anybody connected with a show or a song like that is stupid.
Did you see the show?
It's a dumb show.
Did you see it? Did you see it?
I'm an American. I don't have to see something to know it's stupid.
All right, I agree with you. You're right. It's
right.
a stupid song. It has to be a stupid show. And if the show's stupid, anybody remotely connected with that show is not only stupid, they're double stupid.
They're dumb-dumbs.
Dumb-dumb. I agree with you. By the way, the show happens to be about a young man very much like yourself.
Well, maybe I spoke a little hastily.
The show's about a young man like Tommy. He's young and shy and bashful, but he's very much in love. And, well, he doesn't know how to tell his sweetheart that he loves her, and she knows not of his love. And he longs for the courage to one day to To be able to walk up to her and take her by the hand and look deeply into her eyes. Say very simply and truthfully, my darling, I love you. I love you very much. And I only hope and pray that one day you may grow to love me just half as much as I love you now.
I will.
Will you shut up? He couldn't do that, you see? He didn't have the courage to do that or to tell anybody, did he? But he did a beautiful thing. This young man went out to the countryside where no one could see him and no one could hear him, and he tried to communicate with Mother Nature's wise old trees. And he talked to these trees, and he told the trees of his great love, his new love, his
guy's
first
a weirdo.
love. And it was not a weirdo.
He has a
And he
weird
went-
sneaking around where no one can see
He
him and
didn't
talk.
sneak
You said he
anywhere.
went and he snuck off and talked to the trees.
But that does...
Some weird guy running around the forest. Oh, hi there, Tree. How's Mrs. Tree and all the little bushes?
Oh.
How'd you like your wagon painted,
Now
Tree?
I tried it. Anything sensitive at all goes over your head. You're a shallow, crass
Well,
individual.
you probably talk to fireplace logs and stuff, huh?
I don't know what you're getting
Who's
at.
your fat friend? Used to be a tree, didn't you?
Oh, come on. Of course it was a tree.
Too bad the way things turned out. See what happens? You hang around
Oh,
with the wrong...
shut up! You think people are impressed with your intelligence?
Wait a minute,
No.
boys,
You really-
boys, fellas.
Well, he
fellas.
ruined the whole thing.
I know, look at, I don't know what you're arguing about. You were great. Weren't they great, folks?
Thank you very much, Mr. Benny.
Thank you, Mr. Benny.
Well, and that's another thing. You don't have to keep calling me Mr. Benny.
Well,
You can call me Trini. I mean, Jack.
well, see, we call you Mr. Benny, both
Yes.
my brother and myself, out of respect.
Out of respect.
After all, you are a little bit older than we are.
That's right.
A little,
Yes.
a little older, huh?
Yeah.
Well, how old would you think I am?
Gee, I don't
Anyway.
know.
Well, guess. Go ahead. I mean, I promise you I won't be offended.
Okay.
Just guess. Guess how
Tommy,
old I am.
he always says
Just
he's...
looking at me, guess.
He always says he's 39, right? So he's got to be at least 44?
Well, at least he couldn't be 44 because
Okay.
he wasn't in the last war, was he?
No, but maybe he was a coward.
Could be something else.
Something else.
Yeah, did you ever notice the way he walks?
You're not supposed to guess about that. just my age.
Well, we can't figure it out, Mr. Benny. Could you tell us?
Tell you how old I am?
We really...
Well, I'm not going to tell you my real age. I'll put it this way. If I were a turtle, I'd be in the prime of life. Now, boys, before I forget, when we do the beauty pageant, you know you two are going to be the judges.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, maybe this isn't such a dumb show after all.
You know what frightens me? In a democracy like ours, it's possible for him to be president.
That's pretty frightening.
All right, it is.
And raise your taxes, too.
All right, to raise my taxes.
Jack!
Fellas, boys, you know Miss Diller, don't you? Phyllis Diller?
Yes, and I can't tell you what a pleasure and an honor it is working with one of my favorite personalities.
Tommy.
A man whose artistry is unsurpassed. One of the most beautiful, like a
Tommy,
giant...
stop that.
Little flowery, huh?
Never mind. Now, Phyllis, we'll soon be ready for the pageant. How are the girls doing?
Not too good. Miss Sweden and Miss Tunisia are having great difficulty squeezing into those bathing suits.
I don't understand. All the suits are made by the same manufacturer.
I know, but the girls aren't.
Well, look, I don't want the contestants wearing suits that are that tight.
Did you hear that?
You must be a lot older than we figured.
Never mind. Now, Phyllis, the girls have to be out here in a few minutes, so do the best you can, will you, please?
All right, but I still think they should walk like this.
Phyllis, stop!
I don't know, it kind of excites me.
Run along. Go ahead, Phyllis, run along.
Run along. Boy, what a dumb show.
This may be a dumb show, but there's something that's real smart. Another one of the now cars from the 1967 American Motors. And now, ladies and gentlemen, while the girls are getting into their bathing suits, I have a surprise that's really going to thrill you. In fact, it's such a surprise, I didn't even advertise it. I didn't want you to know about it. I'm going to introduce one of the outstanding musical groups of the day, whose musical interpretation of popular songs with the use of brass has made them the most popular recording artists. And here they are, Herb Alpert and the Tijuana...
Mr. Benny, please, just a moment, please, sir.
What? You're kidding. What a disappointment. Ladies and gentlemen, I was about to introduce the Tijuana Brass. You know I was. But unfortunately, they couldn't make it. However, I'm told that we have a group here that every bit as good. So, ladies and gentlemen, I will introduce the Tijuana Strings. And here they are. You are the Tijuana Strings?
Si.
Then I take it you're all from Tijuana, huh?
Si.
Am I right in assuming that you are their leader? Huh?
Si.
What's your name?
Si.
Sai?
Si.
The Tijuana Strings, that seems awfully close to the Tijuana Brass. I mean, didn't they ever object to it?
Si.
Well, what do they do?
Su.
Sue?
Si.
Oh, for heaven's sakes, go ahead and play something. Now, what are you going to play?
The flea.
I'm afraid to ask this next one. The Flea?
Yes, sir.
Holy smoke, did you say yes, sir?
Si.
Oh, go ahead and play something, will you? Do you object if I play your second number with you? Well, look, this is my dumb show, and I'm going to do it. Now, we'll start at the count of 3.
3.
C. Now follow me. And I want to play this real fast. You know, mucho largo. Ready?
And now, ladies and gentlemen, what we've all been waiting for, the final judging of our beauty pageant. And to present the 10 most beautiful girls in the world, we give you our impresario for the evening, the Burt Parks of Beverly Hills, Jack Benny.
Please, I appreciate it, but this moment belongs to the girls. Well, isn't this exciting? The final judging to determine which of these charming young ladies will get to wear the crown of this year's Miss Northern and Southern Hemisphere. I don't know about you, but I have a lump in my throat. And now may I present to you our distinguished judges for this event, Mr. Tom and Dick Smothers. And presenting our awards, the equally distinguished Mr. Trini Lopez. And now let's meet our 10 lovely contestants. Here she is, Miss Northern and Southern Hemisphere. Dazzling as my very own smile. Loveliness in each strand of hair. Legs beyond compare. Here she is, Miss Northern and Southern Hemisphere. Scoop. Ruby lips and eyes full of fire. Whose gorgeousness and wonder will tear your heart asunder. Miss Northern and Southern Hemisphere. Miss Northern and Southern Hemisphere. Yes, here they are. And they are as sweet as they are lovely. Now, first, I'd like to introduce Miss Ingrid Olsen from Sweden. Miss Louise Dupree from Tunisia. Miss Rosita Di Carlos from Argentina. Oh, honey. Honey, take it easy. Here, control yourself. You know, with the tension the girls are under, these occasional little outbursts are understandable. Control yourself. Baby, control yourself. Here, just control yourself, honey. Here, everything will be all right. Here, just take this. There, a good cry is good for you. And now, ladies and gentlemen, next, we have Miss Catherine Donopoulos from Greece. Miss Denise Aubert from France. Miss Anna Hoffman from Austria. Miss Marilyn Weatherby from England. I don't know too much about England's economy, but they'll never devalue those pounds. Forgive me for these little asides, but it breaks the tension. Mine. Next, Miss Maria Sanchez from Uruguay. Isn't that a lovely smile? Are you enjoying yourself?
I am very happy to be here in Long Beach.
No, honey. No, you're not in Long Beach. This is Los Angeles. And next, let's see. Oh, no, Jessel married this one. I mean, oh, yes, next, Miss Gretchen Van Dyke from Belgium. And finally, Miss Mitsuo Yamada from Japan. They tell me you got lost downtown this morning. How did you finally get here?
Well, the nicest policeman brought me all the way over here on his little old motorcycle.
Are you really from Japan?
See?
I'm not going through that again. Well, ladies and gentlemen, there they are.
What do you think you're doing? You don't score that way.
Wait a minute. What's going on?
You had instructions.
What did he do? What's the matter?
He was Go ahead. Tell him what you just did. Shame on you.
I gave you 8 points for your walk.
Just judge like you're supposed to. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I should tell you we already have some honors to announce. A few hours ago, the girls had their own little vote among themselves. And we now ask Mr. Lopez to step forward and present these treasured selections.
To the one voted the most good-natured, Miss Sweeten. To the most cooperative, Miss Tunisia. And to Miss Uruguay...
This one I'll give. To Miss Uruguay as the nicest to her parents. Oh, well, he may have sex appeal, but I've got Medicare. Now, tell me, Miss Uruguay, are your parents with you?
I am very happy to be here in Long Beach.
Forget Long Beach. No, look, honey. I'm talking about your mother. You know, your father and your mother. Your parents. Are your parents here happy? Are they here with you?
I am very happy to be here.
Oh, forget it. You may all step back in line now. You too, Miss Tunisia. Hard to believe she's from an underdeveloped country. Now, girls, as you pass out, on your way out, as you pass the judge's stand, make your turn so they can get a good look at you. Now, go ahead, let's have your exit. Miss Grease, I'm telling you, you can't do that. Look, you're not supposed to do that.
Hey, what are you? You're gonna lose your 8 points.
Miss Grease, that's cheating. Miss Grease. We'll be back with the winners in a minute, but first, a word from our sponsor, the 1967 American Motors. Ladies and gentlemen, we're ready to announce the winners. May I have those ballots, please?
May the best man win.
Our 4th place winner, Miss Denise Aubert from France. Our 3rd place winner, Miss Catherine Donopoulos from Greece.
I protest. She cheated. She tried to sway the judges. Wait a minute. She didn't sway anybody.
She swayed me. I had her down for first.
Now, our 2nd place winner, Miss Rosita DiCarlo from Argentina. Oh, please. She's so emotional. That's because she's so happy.
I'm not happy. I wanted to be first.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, for the girl who will reign for 1 year as Miss Northern and Southern Hemisphere, our grand winner is...
Wait, Jack, wait!
Phyllis, for heaven's sake.
It's important. I just realized there is nobody in this contest representing the good old USA.
Well, I can't help it. It just worked out that way. Besides, it's too late to get anyone.
It's not too late, and my country is going to be represented if I have to do it myself.
Is ridiculous. I'm not going to be in a contest with her. This whole thing's a farce. I'm not happy to be in Long Beach.
Fraidy cats.
I quit this dumb contest. Me too.
Can't stand a little competition.
Mr. Benny, what are we going to do?
Well, what can we do?
Northern and Southern Hemisphere. Will be rich and nice full of fun. His gorgeousness and wonder, his nature's foremost splendor. His Northern and Southern Hemisphere. His Northern and Southern
Well, hello again. This is Buck Benny speaking. I've been listening to Superman and the original radio show. So and there's a line I really liked at the beginning of it that I really like, and I thought, what a great time to use it. So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we've got Terry back over here, over there, wherever Terry is. What a great intro for Terry. Why are we here? Well, we're here to present our summer specials that we're presenting, the Jack Benny Special Summer, and we're to some really good ones that are coming up now. This is we're going to be presenting today Jack's second special for CBS. It's from 1966. Lots of great guests and everything. We have, just for anybody listening to us that can't see us and things, we have Kathy Fuller-Seeley here again. Hey, Kathy. We have John Henderson. Hey, John.
Hello.
And we have Zach as well, Zach Eastman. Zach, are you clear as a bell, or are you staticky? What's going on?
I'm coming in live from a snowstorm here. There's tons of bears and hyenas out on the road, which is weird because hyenas are not indigenous to this area. So as you can tell, everything is chaotic.
Okay. It's snowing cats and dogs. It's just amazing.
No, it's raining men. Hallelujah.
All right. Well, let's go to Terry first in this one, just because we haven't got to hear Terry in a little while. Terry, what did you think about this episode? And what do you think about the specials, like in general, and so forth? And what would you like to point out?
I often say that when watching movies or TV shows that were made half a century ago, that it's important not to judge them by today's standards, because clearly things change, and particularly in this episode, much of what we saw would never have been done today. It couldn't have gotten past the censors in some cases, and the audiences would have balked at.
It was culturally, racially, it was of the day and wonderful and very acceptable.
Yeah. But I remember laughing at this stuff when I saw it the first time. So to me, yes, there was a little bit of cringing because I had to remind myself that this was 1966, but not that much because it was still very funny.
It's still funny. I agree. I laughed at some of it and stuff that I thought, oh no, this is not going a great direction, but then it would be
right.
It's still funny. Yeah.
The one act that I most want to talk about is the Smothers Brothers. Mm-hmm. And I was lucky to see them live not terribly long ago, within the last 10 years or so. And when I had an interview talk show 10 or 15 years ago, I had Tommy Smothers on as a guest. And so he talked quite a bit about getting fired by CBS and the whole notion of fighting the censors. And it would have been interesting had I seen this Jack Benny special to talk with him about censorship, because clearly at that time he and his brother were just starting out and the censors weren't an issue for them yet. Mm-hmm. However, most of their career on television was on CBS. This was an NBC show, and I wondered how that happened. So I did a little bit of reading and found that they were between CBS contracts. That's why they were available to be on another network, which was very unusual at that time. If a performer was on one network, they were usually jealously locked up by that network. But in this case, they were at liberty. CBS hadn't set them up again. So that's how they showed up on an NBC show. I
feel that way a little bit, because it seems like you see people more often on their own network than they are on other people's networks, like if they're doing the nighttime talk show or whatever.
But it's not nearly as verboten as it used to be to jump from one to another. The other thing about them is that because it was early in their career, they were willing to try anything. And again, much of what, even 5 or 10 years later, much of what they were doing, I think, was so much more edgy and so much more creative than what they were doing on this relatively benign show with the kind of jokes that, dad jokes. And I don't know. It was funny. I laughed, but probably not the best example of the best of any of these people. Even Trini Lopez had a bigger hit with, that was the, Trini Lopez.
Yeah.
Even his music was not the best of Trini Lopez. And his biggest hit, I think, was either Lemon Tree or if I had a hammer.
Yeah.
But he was recording all kinds of music. I did not know that he came from a storied musical family. His dad was a big deal, I think, in Mexico. And so we were seeing, stuff that at the time in 1966 was pretty big. And who other than Jack Benny could get these people?
Exactly. Yeah.
Seems like in a sense it's a really cool thing that it's not their biggest hits, because you can kind of watch their popularity without the baggage of what their legacy is.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like a time capsule strictly of like that particular moment.
I
Which
want to say
I find fascinating.
I want to say one last thing about the sponsor. American Motors was not the third biggest manufacturer in America. It was the fourth. And so it should not surprise anybody that when I was growing up and didn't have the resources to buy a new car, let alone a good new car. And my first car was an American Motors car. It wasn't in 1966. I wasn't driving yet, but I had an American Motors Gremlin, which is worth the name because it's a problem. Beginning with the design, it was a really funky looking car. But the commercial was hilarious. And the guy who was the pitchman for American Motors, Peter Hansen, I think was his name.
I was wondering if that was him. He was one of my favorite soap opera actors.
General Hospital, right?
Lawyer Lee on General Hospital.
Yeah, he was on forever. He did hundreds of episodes of General Motors, but he sold it. And again, was it the most creative commercial in the world? No. And I'm sorry that the other spots got edited out of the video that we all saw, but the live one was a perfect example of what Jack did on the radio for years and years, which was to embed the commercial in the show, so you couldn't not watch it. It was part of the program. And so even though it made me feel a little creepy seeing an ad for a car that I had, not one of those models, but it was still very entertaining, very funny.
Okay, and those of you who know me, which is all four of you, so what was I missing in this commercial that I was going, oh? Anybody? Or who was I missing?
Mister.
Yes, he was definitely in here. Which was great. I really would have liked to see Don Wilson do the commercial. If you would have had Don and Jack and Frank all doing it together, it would have been one of the highlights of the show, even though it was just a commercial, right? For me, but it was still good. It was still seeing. I had not seen this special in a while, and so seeing Frank Nelson show up, it was just a joy to see him. And later on, as Mel Blanc shows up, that was a wonderful treat as well. So I enjoyed them both. And Mel Blanc's piece is one of the ones I'm sure we'll talk about that is not culturally all that sensitive, but it's funny, and they did a fun job with Z. Yes. Anyway, let's go over to Zach if we're getting decent reception from him, and get Zach's impression of anything from the show he wants to talk about.
Hey,
Zach, live.
I hadn't watched this one in a minute, and I was telling Terry off mic that I'm not a Phyllis Diller fan. I've never really found her funny. I don't know why. Call me crazy, but for some reason,
you're crazy, man. Crazy.
I guess I am. But all the stars aligned, and for some reason, maybe it has to do with the sketch that she's primarily circling. But I loved watching her perform this time around. I was laughing at every joke. I was going to say,
she was really on. It was really nice.
I can't explain why, like, all of a sudden it started to happen for me. And again, I do think it has to do with the sketch near the end with the beauty queens, because as I was telling Terry, and Terry's correct, it's difficult, and probably like the way I would phrase it is like, you judge it in context and you determine your comfort watching the piece above all else. But I found myself very cringy with, and I've found myself cringy with this at Jack in other TV shows where he's kissing one of the female contestants. And in the case of the Smothers Brothers, the one that's clearly trying to sway
Which Smothers Brothers
Judge.
did he kiss? Did you?
I think it was Dick. I think. But he but the way Phyllis like basically breaks their thunder at the end of it with throwing herself into the competition, like it's so interesting. You'd almost want to show that to somebody today as an example of like, yeah, I know that a lot of material from the past is outdated, but look at the way she turns this sketch around as not just a fuck you to the men, or sorry, a bleep to the men.
Yeah.
Sorry. But also the way she portrays body positivity at the same time. Like it was just a grand little statement to make when all they're trying to do is make you laugh. And somehow over 50, 60 years later, it's hitting a different benchmark, which I found fascinating. And I do agree with Terry. The Smothers Brothers were on fire. I loved it basically breaking down into a family therapy session for them in the sketch. And I would argue that of all the commercials that I have seen in these specials, this is the best one I've seen. It's a full-on, I'm not going to say it like relates back to the Jell-O days where the Jell-O sketches became very intricate and or as quick as they wanted to be. Like there's obviously the one where Don writes a play that's all centered around a Jell-O plug and then Jack shoots him at the end. Mm-hmm. But the way they introduce Frank Nelson into it and have him going car to car, it was just firing on all cylinders for me personally.
Yep.
I especially love the line at the beginning where he goes, "You're the photographer. Well, what do you think I am behind underneath this cloth? Growing mushrooms?" And my modern sensibility was just like, I would love to know what Frank Nelson is like on mushrooms.
Yeah.
But then just going car to car and then it just completely worked. Mm-hmm. And Trini Lopez, the whole Trini Lopez bit, I loved when he got the guitar in his hands.
Right.
And he started singing "Fly Me to the Moon." I'll own all the land by the end of June, I think was the line.
Yeah.
It shows Jack being playful. And I like when Jack gets playful with a musical instrument, like even if it's not the fiddle, like it could be anything. Yeah. As far as the Tijuana Strings, I understand how those are culturally insensitive jokes. I don't find I cis white male talking. I don't find them as rough as other portrayals have been in the past.
Right.
And a lot of it has to do with the fact that it's not about culture, it's about wordplay, it's about verbiage. Mm-hmm. And those jokes work so well. And I love how they reference the ridiculousness of it by Mel Blanc breaking into his regular voice for "yes sir." Like that the way he broke that up worked very well. So in a sense, it kind of like there's a lot of self-referential, like being very aware of itself moments on this episode that I heretofore did not realize was ahead of me. So it's one of the strongest that I've watched in the ones that we've been watching together as a group.
Right.
And even just the ones that I've watched on my own, like the one we talked about at the con had way more issues than this one in a certain respect. And yet, but it didn't turn its issues around the way this one did. So it's a testament to how good comedy will stand on a firm pedestal for time on end. And this is Jack when he's not necessarily at his best funny wise, and the writing is not the same, but somehow it just kind of felt like it felt like a good version of the show for me. Like it's just kind of rambling on, but like I genuinely had like fun. Like I've taken a Jack hiatus for the last couple of weeks, and watching it, I was just like, man, I kind of remembered why I love Jack, because it's a lot of goofy random things happening around him, and he's just trying to keep the chaos under control. So, but yeah,
good show. And the Trini Lopez things reminded me what I was getting reminded of. Oh dang, I could have maybe got an interview with Trini Lopez, because he just passed away last year or something. It's fairly recent that we lost him. But it was fun to see him in his prime, so that's awesome.
The Smothers are still around. We tried to get them for the convention, and that trail went dead pretty quick. So, yeah.
And they're both still around. Wow.
Yeah. Maybe next year. Who knows?
Yeah. Never know. So, John, what are your thoughts on this one?
Well, I loved it. And I think if there was somebody who said to me, "Who's Jack Benny?" which happens quite a bit, I would say this would be a good thing to show them, because it really gives an idea of who Jack Benny is. There's some callbacks and some highlights from his radio stuff, like the Seaside Sue bit, and Frank Nelson, which is an obscure character that it's just delightful to see him in person, not just hear him on the radio.
Yep.
I loved that. I thought his opening monologue was terrific. And that's the other thing about this episode. It's sort of like a great mix of like old and new, and, a good energy. I think that it's canned laughter, which is not ideal, but I think it's done pretty well compared to some of the things that I've seen.
The timing is way better than it ought to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like Phyllis Diller. You wouldn't say like, oh, I'm a huge Phyllis Diller fan, but whenever she comes on and does a good job like this one, I enjoy that. And we were watching with my kids a Mad Monster Party, the Rankin and Bass Halloween special, and she's got a part in there, and they're like, I don't get it. Is this like supposed to be a thing that I'm missing? And I tried to explain it to her. I think I would have been better off showing them a clip of something like this to explain it to them.
Yes.
Because this is like, this is, again, if it's Jack Benny in a bottle in this episode, this is also Phyllis Diller in a bottle. Yes. I had never heard of Trini Lopez. I loved it. I really enjoyed I've heard Fly Me to the Moon, and they just kicked it up a notch with this version.
Yep.
I was listening to a radio station this week, and there was a great song. It was instrumental, and I was like, well, that is a groovy song. And I couldn't tell if it was old or new. It was Whipped Cream by Herb Alpert and the Tijuana Brass.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I assume that the name of this band is sort of a play on the Tijuana Brass, being the Tijuana Strings.
Tijuana Brass was really big at this time, and the record you just talked about, that's their first release, and it was just huge. It just blew up, and it's one of those bands that I don't think ever topped their first release, and, which has got to be frustrating for a band to go, we got it right out of the gate and then never quite get back there again.
And John, for an adolescent boy growing up at that time, it had the greatest album cover.
One of the greatest album covers
without being behind the counter.
Yes, I too was excited to see all that whipped cream, because that is a tasty dish. So yeah.
Does anybody here, like, if you guys know this, that's great, but an audience watching this may not know that Tijuana Brass song, Spanish Flea, has gone down throughout the decades as a good little song for commercial interruption, we'll be right back, or like an advertisement or something like that. Does anybody know that there are actually lyrics to that song? Because usually we hear it in instrumental.
Right.
But I want to give you one chorus of it. There was a little Spanish flea, a record star he thought he'd be. He heard of singers like Beatles and the Chipmunks he'd seen on TV. Why not a little Spanish flea? And I never, I've known about this like bit. I've seen this bit before, but the first time I heard about the lyrics to the song existing was on The Simpsons, when Homer's just singing it to himself in his car while Bart and Milhouse are at a metal concert.
That's great.
And I'm sure there's lots of people who only know Frank Nelson from The Simpsons as the guy who says, yes.
You're a fan. You remember his first appearance where he's bodyguarding the mayor, and he goes, yes, do you have a table for the mayor? Yes. Why do you talk that way? I had a stroke. There's the Mark Hamill connection in that is that he's in the episode on the commentary. He's the only one on the commentary filled with the Simpsons writers and creators who name dropped Jack Benny as the place you'd know Frank Nelson. Everybody else was saying Sanford and Son or the McDonald's commercials. So another feather in Mark Hamill's cap.
There you go.
Yeah.
Mark Hamill is pretty amazing.
Yeah.
Love the Smothers Brothers. I got a Smothers Brothers album from my parents when I was in high school, and I listened to that thing to death. And I actually forgot that I also saw them in, live. I guess you wouldn't really say in concert. It was a smaller venue. And I got the tickets, and then I bought some tickets for my brother and his girlfriend. And he's like, I can't make it. So I took two of my older sisters, and they're like, great, I'd love to go. And then we get there, and she sees these old guys. This is probably 2005 or 2008 or something. And they're like, so who are these guys? So I had a great time, and I think they enjoyed it, but they had never heard of them before. I had heard that record so many times that they actually do one of those bits. I talked to the trees in this episode, and it was great to see it like with my eyes.
Yeah.
But it's so locked in my memory, their exact delivery from the album version, that it's it was so fun to sort of like compare that with this one. And I think it's a great performance. I love that Jack Benny says, oh, you must be related to Dennis Day or something.
Yes.
He did sort of
which I never connected that before, but as soon as you mentioned it, it was like, oh yes, that is kind of his character, sort of the Dennis Day.
Yeah.
I love
So I love the Smothers Brothers. Jack Benny was on the Smothers Brothers hour the following year. This is actually better. This is a better Jack Benny and Smothers Brothers performance, in my opinion.
Was that the one he appeared on with George Burns?
Yes.
Yeah, that was actually a great show.
Yeah. And we'll have to see if I can find that stumbling around there on YouTube or anything. So.
That and one of the last Jack Benny regular half hours has the Smothers Brothers. Don't they do a World War I sketch or something like that?
Yeah.
I think the very last Jack Benny episode has the Smothers Brothers.
Yeah.
The very last one, right?
Yeah.
So we should package those together. So.
Yeah, there you go. Well, Kathy, what were your kind of...
Well, speaking of that, thank you. I've never seen this one before, and I so appreciated it as a fabulous example of mid-60s television, trying to reach out to many different parts of the audience, trying to be hip and new, trying Jack, just as you all have said, a fabulous mixture of the old and the new in so many aspects. And interestingly, the Variety reviewer said the same thing. And although for a Jack Benny show, this is a pretty tepid review, but the things it likes are the things you all have already mentioned about Jack trying to make the material better. So let me just read you a little bit. Jack Benny's 1 hour special on NBC last Thursday was more like an overblown edition of his old half-hour series. Benny's efforts were largely scuttled by the writers of the show, who are his regular writers, who consistently gave the comic and his guests lines that made them wince collectively and individually on camera. Although Benny again and again tried to elevate the weak material with his seasoned timing, muggery, and body English, he was working against the odds. As a loose variety show, the program had its moments. Trini Lopez delivered a sharp rock version of In Other Words and an electric handling of This Train. Lopez was also ingratiating in the comedic byplay when it occasionally caught fire. The Smothers Brothers turned out to be a good comedic mix with Benny, and the pair and the star contributed some of the brighter moments on the show. Phyllis Diller was not well integrated into the show, but she often got laughs that weren't there, partly by camping it up wildly, and sometimes apparently by ad-libbing better material than was written. And that is a great thing to remember. I loved how Jack broke up when she said some of those lines in their one-on-one byplay. The final and major sketch of the show, a takeoff on a televised beauty contest, was uneven, Benny's caricature of Burt Parks was great, complete with wavy toupee, glistening choppers, and endless whatever. My review cuts off after there. But as I said, I love this mixture of old and new in everything from the presentation of the ads to things. And I can say that both for anybody who loves the Smothers Brothers, finding the video documentary Smothered is really wonderful. It's about 10, 15 years old now, but it does a great job of telling about the sort of the Smothers Brothers comedy hour, I guess it was, rise to popularity and all the challenges they faced with the CBS censors when just barely a year after their cancellation, Laugh-In was doing all the same humor and, you know, and getting praise for it. And I would also say that Phyllis Diller is now one of the golden examples of feminist 1960s comedy. So she is overtaking Joan Rivers as the icon that academics want to write about. So go, Phyllis. And indeed, we could put together Jack's interactions with Phyllis Diller, because their version on a special upcoming special of their version of The Graduate is amazing. So
Kathy,
Kathy, I'm curious to know, since this show preempted Star Trek, do you have any idea how it did in the ratings?
Another article said it killed. That it was very, very popular. So
yes, it killed Star Trek. Star Trek got canceled, and it was all because of Phyllis Diller and Jack Benny. I don't know.
Wait. So did Kirk then like scream into the tricorder, Jack? Yeah.
Well, so the Variety reported that the you know, because everybody was so sad. Well, no, I mean, the business of Benny's show being canceled and this idea that he's an old man and that the show is not interesting and so he shouldn't be on TV anymore. And here is Jack showing them in special after special after special. Many of them are very highly rated in their when they're broadcast. So I guess Jack gets to go, you know.
And the documentary that Kathy mentioned is actually on YouTube. Somebody put it up there. So if you like, maybe we can give Buck the link to put in show notes, but it is there. A whole an hour and a half dedicated to the censorship struggles of the Smothers Brothers. Wow. I have a question for the group here because of what we were talking about Jack reaching for ways to capture the current audience or the more
before your question to the group, John and I have something to say to you. When you were screaming as Jack into the tricorder, I don't know exactly why Kirk would be screaming into a tricorder when
that's
right. Communicator that would have made a lot more sense.
Okay.
He wanted to analyze his vocal cord.
All right. Beat me over the head. Why don't you give me the Vulcan nerve pinch right there, buddy? Right there. Just stick it right in my neck.
Yeah.
I was gonna ask, with Jack trying to reach for the younger audience as well, and we've been watching some of these specials, how do we feel as a group about Jack trying to reach for that? Do you feel that it succeeds more often not than it fails? And what's your takeaway from it?
I love it when he tries. Like even the ones that, you know, are a little bit awkward, like when he's with the Beach Boys, it's not particularly funny, but the fact that he's trying to do it, and it's, you know, I feel like I like the attempt and I like the idea of trying to be hip.
Yeah.
And I would say he tries a little too often. I would like a little less of that. It's like every special, there's sections that he's trying to do that. But having said that, the other option is for him to just be kind of an oldies person that comes on and just does all his old stuff and just appeals to that one audience. So, you know, I think his producers, the network, everybody would want him to be trying to reach to a broader audience. And I got to give him kudos for trying. And sometimes it works brilliantly and sometimes it doesn't. And that's
I think we also have to take into consideration the fact that in the 60s, it wasn't Jack Benny who was doing this. Everybody of a certain age, every performer who had been established, you know, in generations past, were trying to connect with the younger audience, and whether it was Lawrence Welk doing 60s and 70s music,
Yeah.
or I mean, anybody else who had a variety show, they were all trying to do this. Because
my favorite take on it might be Dean Martin's take, because he didn't actually try to reach, like, I'm going to try and appeal to you as an audience. It was simply, I'm going to be so cool that I'm going to be where young audience goes, oh, that guy's older, but he's really cool, and so I'll watch his show, versus I'm going to try and actually play to you as a young person, and there's a difference there, and it kind of works to do it that way, to be ultra cool. And I think Frank Sinatra did the same thing, and Dean Martin, and all those, that whole Rat Pack kind of did the cool thing and tried to make themselves cool even though they were older. So yeah.
I think Jack succeeded. I think Jack succeeded in it, in a sense that he would do things like having Isaac Hayes on,
right,
which I think is successful. But he would also do, in a similar vein, take a modern comic who would be way more hip by comparison to him, like Flip Wilson,
right,
and insert him in a sketch that allows the comic to succeed in spite of the age of the potential for the material.
Right.
So like that Flip Wilson sketch, or like the Red Fox sketch, like I feel like those are things that, like, I don't mind when he tries, because I always think it's cute to watch Jack come out in hippie garb.
Yes.
But at the similar point, like, it's when he interacts with a modern entertainer and finds a way to bridge the gap between what he does best and what they can do best.
Right.
And I just realized Kathy hasn't answered her response. Sorry about that, Kathy.
Sorry, that's I would say that this is something that Jack Benny had been doing for 30 years. When he had Frank Sinatra on his show so often in the mid 40s, Frank, had just was kind of in a dull, after being the boy wonder that all the girls yelled at. So, but he was trying, them using Frank Sinatra was trying to reach the younger audience, dealing with Johnny, what's his name, with the crying song, bringing on the Mills Brothers. So I think he's been aware of it his whole career. It's just that the distance between what the younger audience is interested in and the older audience just grows so much in the 60s.
Yes.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. I wonder also if, like, the fact that we're so far from that time. Well, I feel that way. Like, I was not around in the 60s, so it's all kind of fun. So when I see Jack Benny do a reference to a 60s song or wear 60s clothes, I think it's, kind of like funny and neat, right? But I remember being in the 90s when people from the 60s were doing 90s stuff, and I rolled my eyes so hard they came back around again. So
Right. Yeah, I could totally see that. And you could see that, like, reactions will change too, because, like, I wasn't there in the 70s, so I don't know how people reacted to Nixon in Sock It To Me. But I look at that now and go, like, like, why are you there? I know why. I know why he's there, but
well, it was so beautiful. His delivery was so good. That's what made it. You remember so long.
And he was
Talk it to me.
he was president. We hadn't had Watergate yet. So
yeah, that's true. That's true.
We used to respect presidents.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's right. I forgot.
Did we now?
Yeah.
I live in an age of disillusionment. I'm sorry.
Hey, Buck, before we wrap up, can I make a plug?
Yes, for my stuff, sure. Go ahead.
It's not often on a Jack Benny show do I get to plug my other podcast, which is Star Trek Kids.
There you go.
Just like this episode, oftentimes my Jack Benny podcast preempts my Star Trek podcasts. But if you get a chance to check it out, Star Trek Kids.
And you had a new recent episode that you just did.
Right.
Right?
Yeah, that's right.
And it's like he realized the next generation was sort of doing their sign off and their big return and everything, that he's like, oh, I need to do that with my famous podcast for kids. Star Trek. It is a charming podcast, so you should tune in. So
yeah, can I make a quick plug too as well, Buck, for both of you and John?
Oh, sure, for us. Make the John part small, make my part big, but there you go.
It's more Benny related, but next episode of Ballyhoo that comes out, you and I will be on with our Stuart Keenan special.
Oh, very good.
And John and you, along with Hope Sears, who's not here this week, will be on the show talking about Love Thy Neighbor from 1940. So
yeah, and that's the Yesteryear Ballyhoo Review podcast.
Yes, get it all in.
Nice job, John. I noticed John did that before. He preempted me, so I couldn't do it because I always mess it up. So.
I need John on more often.
Well, and I always mess up the Jack Benny Day of this thing as well that John does, so it's whatever.
This moment in Kubelski. Yes, I remember the title.
Well, and let's go over to Terry for a second. Terry, where are we at now with Reagan, and it premieres next fall, right?
Yeah, it opens September 1 in Santa Barbara. We have a new website, reaganplay.com.
reaganplay.com. Fantastic. And I hope you're doesn't make too much sense to talk about it because I think by the time we air this, the fundraiser will be over and everything. But is your Kickstarter doing okay, or where are you at?
No,
not so hot.
No,
Okay.
it's plodding along. I'm hoping there'll be a boost at the end. It runs through May 16th, I think, is the last day people can contribute. But we're doing this no matter what that fundraiser is. We're opening on September 1. So if I have to sell cupcakes on a street corner or whatever the kids are calling it these days,
I would buy those cupcakes, I tell you.
But yeah, we're opening September 1 and running for a couple of weeks in Santa Barbara, and then we are due to move up to Fresno, California.
Oh, wow.
And after that, we'll see.
Excellent.
Kathy, Lost Scripts.
Oh, well, that's I hope to get the introduction, a whole new introduction done in the next couple weeks. I was a little delayed this spring by having to deal with the estate matters for my own undergraduate professor, but her condo sold at only 5 days on the market for full price cash offer. So I couldn't have done, and her her 19-year-old murdered kitty is transformed and doesn't bite and scratch anymore. So good things are happening. And the coolest thing I just realized in this third volume, the last 13 weeks of shows sponsored by Canada Dry, when they're over on CBS, because they're over on CBS, they get a visit from Gracie Allen during that celebrated Gracie appearing on all different radio shows looking for her brother George.
Oh yeah.
So she shows up on the Benny show. So
that's great, because most of those seem to be kind of lost. I think there might be one or two of them. Her later, she kind of revisits that when she's supposedly running for president, and those kind of exist because they're done a few years later, and so you have a lot of the guest appearances where she, you can collect all those together and things if a person wants to. With the George thing, it's more of a story you hear, but you can't really experience it.
So I had just been rereading I Love Her, That's Why, George Burns's autobiography written in the 50s, when Gracie was still with him, and he goes at length into the story of the search for George, and then to find it in a Benny episode of January 8th, 1933. So there'll be yet another highlight of volume 3.
Yeah. And what's the official title? Is it Jack Benny, The Lost Radio Broadcasts?
Yes. Jack Benny's apostrophe Lost Radio Broadcasts. So.
Yes. And she has 2 volumes out now, and that'll be the 3rd volume. Yep.
3.
And as of, I don't know, a while ago, I haven't looked lately, but the hardback version at some point was cheaper than the paperback version on Amazon. So get the hardback if you can, and
it's a bargain in the world. So,
yeah, they're both very worthwhile books to read if you want to read about the scripts. And we get mentioned. Some of us get mentioned in the intro to one of the books anyway. And this new intro she's writing, I think, is going to be like 50% about me. I hope that's what I'm expecting. So we'll see.
Wait, Kathy, you got the whole Buck Benny origin story? Oh my God. Oh my God. So excited.
Think of 5 copies, Zach.
This is all I wanted for Christmas and Easter combined.
Of course.
No,
All
those
right.
those script books are such an invaluable resource. Like they're absolutely marvelous.
And like I say, you read them, and if you're a Benny fan, you've heard a lot of the Benny shows. It's like hearing the actual show at play. You can hear Jack in your head and everything. So
We'll have to be brave and try reconstructing one of these
yes.
days. So.
Well, I'd love to redo the one with Gracie Allen on there. Would be a lot of fun. So yeah. Huh.
There's another convention coming up.
So her Gracie Allen bit, is it just, I assume she just shows up for like a page or 2 of dialogue with him?
It's like 3 or 4, so she's
wow.
there for
Okay. So
quite a while.
Substantial. Okay.
And it was really sweet. The week before, Mary Livingston does a Gracie Allen in impersonation.
Oh,
so
okay.
it's not, I don't know whether it's connected, whether they sort of knew ahead of time that they were gearing up for it, but so hooray for Gracie.
Exciting stuff. All right. Well, thanks everybody. Oh, I will say one thing about this episode that no one mentioned. For me, and you guys may have heard it 1,000 times, I have no idea, but the joke that Jack says about how Phyllis Diller's hair became the way it is, I thought was a very well delivered, very funny piece, and I love that. So that's something to look forward to. and very descriptive. As soon as he said it, I was like, yeah, that's what she looks like.
That is one of those. There's that moment, and when he does the "Ooh, will I" to Frank at the end, like I'm like, oh, good, Jack gets some genuine laughs on his own here. I love this. This is awesome. Yeah,
and I don't remember that. I mean, Jack's done that a few times, kind of half-hearted kind of impressions during his radio show or whatever. This was a pretty full-throated, like straight-on Frank Nelson little impression that he does, and I loved it. So
it's hard on the radio because it almost sounds like it is Frank Nelson still, right? Whereas
Correct.
when you can see them, you're like, oh, I get it.
That's probably true. Yeah, I didn't think about that. All right. Look at that. John has something insightful to say right before we get off the air. That's why we bring him here. Once a year, he has something insightful to add to us.
Does that mean we get summer or 5 more weeks of winter? I don't know what that
means. For you, Zach, apparently it's more winter. Sorry.
God damn it, John.
Oh, and Zach, you were worried earlier about you'd let the F-bomb drop and there was concern there. Don't be concerned, because really I generally take your parts and John's parts and just edit them out of the whole thing. So,
that's that. I know, and it makes it very interesting listening for me later on. But I
do wondering, who are those 2 guys that never speak that are just there?
I do apologize. I just got off of a shift at work and I'm a little loopy. So
it's all right. Anyway, Saturday next time, enjoy this great special. It's actually, like we're saying, it's actually one of his best ones, and I didn't know it would be. And so I wish I would have watched this more in the past, but it was definitely worthwhile. So enjoy. I think it might only be the first episode that says that of Superman. I'm not sure if every episode says that, but I just like it. So, and so I use it for my intro clip. So for me, it's like all the time. It's always there. But anyway, but I just love that. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. And what did they say next? We're introducing an exciting new character for you, or whatever, something to that effect. But it just amazes me with Superman, because I don't know why we're talking about Superman, but hey, so they release his comic in like 1938, and by 1939, 1 year later, they're talking about trying to take him over to radio because he's been such a hit in his medium. It's like, let's take him to another medium. So I think that's pretty cool. Anyway,
I love that you can't see Superman, so he has to say like down, down.
Yeah. He doesn't say down, down. He says up, up, and away.
He says both. He says up, up, and away when he's going up, and then he says down, down.
That's true. That is true.
I thought he said, Martha, have to save Martha. And then Batman goes, why did you say that name?
That's a wrong decade, my friend. So,
oh, no. Batman v Superman is every decade. You just got to believe in the Snyder.
Well.
Also appearing on tonight's show were Mel Blanc, Ivana Kusslinger, Lenore Stevens, and Coco Tani. This is Bill Baldwin speaking.